All right, day 2 of the 2023 NFL Draft is over, and the Chiefs have continued to fill key positions of need, taking a wide receiver in Rashee Rice in round 2, and then Wanya Morris, an offensive tackle who's played both on the left and right in round 3. So let's talk about it. But first, how about those? Well, holy 1:19 a.m. As of when I'm recording, the Chiefs have drafted a couple more players today, actually trading up for both of these picks. First, they traded the Lions in round 2, moving up 8 spots from pick 63 to 55 to go up and get wide receiver Rashee Rice out of SMU. And the details of the trade looks as follows. The Chiefs gave up pick 63, 122, and 249 and received pick 55 and 194. And for the record, pick 122, I believe, was the 4th round pick received from Miami in the trade with Tyreek last year. Wild. Anyway, Rashee Rice is a 6'1", 200-pound receiver who is great with yakety-yak yards after catch, labeled as a nasty blocker, and KCSN notes he's one of the true outside threats in this year's class. Chiefs assistant GM Mike Borgonzi spoke with the media after the draft, saying that they felt good to be able to fill some needs for the team, but also to be able to stay true to their particular draft board. There was a cluster of wide receivers in round 2, and they moved up to get Rashee Rice because they were high on him, and Veach said, let's go up and get him. So go up and get him. They did, making sure nobody else would snag the guy that they really wanted. They also saw him at the Senior Bowl and loved his ability to create yards after the catch, comping him basically as a violent running back with the ball in his hands. And considering how well the literal violent running back plays that the Chiefs have, Isaiah Pacheco, I like the sound of that a whole lot. He has a 41-inch vertical jump as well, and the Chiefs love that athleticism about him. He's going to be able to go up and get it, which is going to be freaking awesome. They brought Rice in on a top 30 visit as well, and he, quote, checked all the boxes. And it's interesting to note that everyone knew about Mahomes connecting with wide receivers Quentin Johnston and Zay Flowers when they were together in Texas training, as they could be seen running routes and catching passes from Mahomes literally all over social media. But did you know that Rashee Rice was also around at some point, yet nobody in public really knew about it? Well, apparently that was their secret, and Rashee said in his intro press conference today after he was drafted that he had a couple training sessions with Mahomes and really enjoyed working with him, and Patrick Mahomes may have had some input on Rashee's draft selection. When asked if he thought Mahomes had input on his pick, Rashee said that it was 100% possible, and that if he did, he's going to call him up and thank him personally. And his message to the kingdom was, quote, y'all are getting a playmaker, somebody who really wants to be a part of Chiefs Kingdom. We're going to win another Super Bowl, there's no doubt about it, and another ring sure sounds fantastic to me. From there, Rashee said he likes to model his game after DeAndre Hopkins. Quote, just because we both attack the ball real aggressive, and then you never know what we can do with the ball in our hands. And if the Chiefs even think this is remotely true, A, you love to see it, and B, they're not getting D-Hop, or at least the odds are pretty low unless he's released from the Cardinals. But I digress. I'm not saying Rashee Rice is going to be D-Hop or anything like that. Just he models his game after DeAndre Hopkins, and it made me think about, D-Hop to the Chiefs because I get asked about it every single day. But moving on, Rice played college ball at SMU and actually played with Shane Buechele in 2019 and 2020, and he's actually stayed in contact with Buechele all throughout the draft process, ran routes with him as well in Texas, and Shane called him right after his name was announced on the TV. In fact, you can see this clip here. He's literally on the phone with Mahomes, or FaceTiming with Shane Buechele, and Mahomes is calling. So he's got one phone in one hand, one phone in the other. It's a pretty cool little moment there. But here's some more interesting notes I found on Rice via PFF, who said while he lacks elite athleticism, Rice does a lot of the little things right, giving him the opportunity to be productive in the NFL. He started just 2 games in his freshman season at SMU, but finished with 10 receptions for 198 yards and a touchdown across those 2 starts. From that point on, he was the focal point of the Mustangs passing game, leading the team in receptions in each of the past 3 seasons. He saw the most volume of his career this past season with over 104 more targets than the next closest player on the team. And he did have a huge senior year, guys, totaling 96 catches for 1,355 yards and 10 touchdowns, accounting for 41% of his quarterback Tanner Mordecai's passing yards. And he actually led the NCAA in receiving yards per game in 2022 with an average of 112.9. Rashee is also an effective deep threat, catching more 20-plus yard passes than any other receiver in this draft class with 18 receptions of at least 20 yards. He also placed first with 8 contested catches on deep passes. And the craziest part is he did all this while battling a foot injury for a good portion of the season. So a healthy Rashee Rice will hopefully spell good things for the Chiefs this upcoming season. So what does this mean for the Chiefs wide receiver room? Well, you currently have MVS, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Richie James, Justin Watson, the newly signed Rashee Rice. That's 6. And then you've got the other guys fighting for a spot. It's going to be an uphill battle. Justin Ross, John Ross, Amir Smith-Marset, Ty Freifogel, and Jerrion Ealy. I think that's it off the top of my head. Cornell Powell as well. Those guys are going to have to fight for a spot. Meanwhile, I don't even know if Justin Watson, Richie James, like those two guys on the back end are safe. Either way, this makes for a very competitive wide receiver room, and I'm excited to see just how it all plays out and if the Chiefs add a veteran wide receiver after the draft, or even tomorrow add another wide receiver in a later round. And then next up in the 3rd round, the Chiefs traded up once again, moving forward 3 spots from 95 to 92, trading with the Bengals of all teams, believe it or not. And to move forward those 3 spots, it did cost them one of their 7th round picks, but they were able to go up and snag offensive tackle Wanya, it's like Kanye with the W, Wanya Morris out of Oklahoma. He was actually the backup tackle to Anton Harrison in 2021, but moved to the right side as the starting right tackle in 2022. But prior to that, he actually played left tackle for Tennessee, playing alongside Trey Smith on the left side. That's right, Trey Smith. He played left guard, and the left tackle was Wanya. And depending on how things play out, Wanya could once again find himself playing alongside Trey Smith, you know, if he made right tackle or however it works out. He's a big, lengthy guy, which the Chiefs love out of their tackles. He's a reliable pass blocker, has strong hands with above average initial quickness, and said himself he could play wherever the Chiefs need him, saying, whatever they need me to play, I'm a play, and that's that. So left side, right side, doesn't matter to him. He's just grateful to be playing for the Chiefs and to be reunited with former teammate Trey Smith, who was one of the first people to call him when the Chiefs drafted him. This is certainly an interesting pick. He's roughly the same size as Jawan Taylor, like an inch shorter, 15 pounds lighter, though Taylor is the more athletic of the two. But Wanya has years of left tackle experience compared to Taylor's few games of left tackle experience. So who will end up on the left side? I mean, if you had to ask me right now at almost 2 in the morning, my gut reaction, at least for now, tells me Taylor will be the left tackle because of his athleticism, but Wanya adds a great competition to the mix, and worst case, he will be fighting for the starting spot on the right side in a battle with Lucas Niang and possibly Darian Kennard as well. And I probably like Wanya's chances to make the starting spot at the right tackle, at least at this point in time. And with all that being said, here's the list of the Chiefs' current remaining draft picks for day 3. There's 5 picks. You have a 4th rounder, pick 134, 5th rounder, pick 166, 2 6th rounders, 178 and 194, and then pick 250 in the 7th round. And they will more than likely use most of these to fill out some additional depth for the roster, maybe some defensive backs, a late round tight end or running back. I don't know. We will soon find out, but that's where I want to get your thoughts on the Chiefs picks in Rashee Rice and Wanya Morris. Do you like the picks? Are you disappointed? Did they reach too far for either of them? Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those Chiefs?